and welcome to yet another delightful episode of the Property Show. On today's show, we go back in time when Africa was considered and still remains as the hub of gold. At the time, we didn't have formal education, white-collar jobs or big investments, but we had our African gold, land. This asset has always been our source of food, capital, and has retained value over the years. On the Property Pick of the Week, we delve back to the basics with highlights of plots in different locations and price range. Telecom, the sleeping giant, has woken up. Find out their next move on our business segment. The home ownership conversation continues to inspire us to start the journey today.
I remember at some point, the shoes, water was seeping through shoes. You know,
home ownership is a sacrifice.
It is
you have to sacrifice. Finally, the property gallery with ideal investment options available in this market. Connect with us on our social media platforms and let's talk. As always, there is something for everyone. Sit back, relax, and let's enjoy. Today, it's all about plots, and more plots, the traditional African gold. We begin the journey at Isinya Acres, located in a gated community with beautiful views of Gong Hills. These plots have ready title deeds, access to water and electricity.
Located 8 kilometers from Isinya town is the Isinya Acres plots. The plots are near the proposed Greater Southern Bypass connecting Konza ICT City, Isinya, Gong, Kikuyu Town, and Mai Mahiu. 8 major private universities, which include Kampala International University, KAG University, Oral Roberts University, and Uma University, are setting up in the area. Electricity and water are available in the area. The plots are subdivided into 1/8 of an acre in a gated community.
Next, large parcels in Mulolongo. These plots are ideal for commercial, residential, as well as a logistic park. They are located in close proximity to the SGR.
"75 acres at Mulolongo." Located off Mombasa Road at Mulolongo, Mavoko Municipality with access from Beijing Road. The land is 20 minutes drive from the Nairobi city centre and 5 minutes from the Syokimau train station. These 75 acres are divided into parcels of 5 acres and 2.5 acres. These plots are ideal for both commercial and residential developments as they are only 1 kilometer from the main all-weather access road. Residential communities in the area are Olenyori Estate and Great Wall Apartments. The plots are also in close proximity to the Athi River town and the major banks. Schools within the area include Joyland Preparatory School and Kitengela International School. Price available on request.
Let's shift gears to Makueni County, another large piece of land ideal for large-scale farming.
Kitengei Settlement Scheme is located in Kibwezi area of Makueni County. The farm lies to the south of River Athi and is accessible from an all-weather road off the Nairobi-Mombasa Road. The farmland has been developed for horticultural farming, specializing in the production of fruits and vegetables. Some of the crops grown are mangoes, avocados, pawpaw, guava, passion fruit, oranges, herbs, and assorted vegetables. 60% of the farm is under drip irrigation, getting its water from River Athi, water reservoirs, and 2 boreholes on the farm. Amenities include farmhouse, manager's house and office, workshop, security room and store, staff houses, borehole, 3 water reservoirs, generator, refrigerator room, 2 water pumps, pit latrines, and farm machinery.
Finally, let's hear from Diamond Property Merchants on their concept of buy and build, agribusiness, and strategic plots. Let's have a look. Today our topic is on plots, what we call the African gold in Kenya. And we know that now the African gold is under attack. Many of our customers and many of our viewers have said that they buy a plot, they don't get their title deed within timelines that they've agreed on. They then don't understand where to go next. How is your model and what are your products?
Our approach to investment is, we call it strategic land investment, which one will simply define as buying land at the right price, right time, and at the right place. Hence, our research-based approach towards land investment. We acquire all our properties. We first of all do what we call due diligence, because I know, Nancy, as an individual, you might want to buy land, but there are few processes that you might not be aware of. That's where Diamond comes in. So we do thorough due diligence. By the time I'm subdividing a property to sell to Nancy at the end consumer, my name is on it, meaning I've taken the first biggest risk, which is the due diligence, meaning there's no encumbrance. Then number 2, when you have this particular property, because again, buying land, as much as the craze and the rave of just buying a plot because Nancy has a plot, all my friends have plots left, right, and center. As Diamond Property Merchants, we thought it is wise for us to even go a step ahead and guide you on how will you use that land, because just owning land alone in a growing economy, we know about the urban population that's mushrooming every now and then, it won't be wise for us to have plain plots lying left, right, and center. So we've taken a step further to guide you as a plot buyer. What can you do on your plot? Hence our 3 different approaches. 1, strategic land investment in terms of buy and build. I clearly understand that we have enough buyers out there who own properties in the name of owning a home later on. But along the line, I realized constructing is not a walk in the park. If I don't know the processes and the people involved in the processes, I might as well decide not to build. So we go ahead and bridge the gap between you, the plot owner, and the people involved in the construction processes. All the mindsets, bring them in together, have the approved plans and drawings and designs, have the costing done for you. And since you're talking about a mass construction and you have riding on the economies of scale, so you find that the cost of construction even becomes cheaper because the materials are being purchased in bulk. So you, the end plot owner or the end home owner, can go to bed knowing very well that I own the plot, I have the house coming up, I don't need to really worry about how many bags, the quantity of bags of cement being bought, whether I'm being conned off in terms of the materials and the finishing. Diamond is in between to bridge the gap for you, the plot owner.
Where are those plots, the ones that you're selling as buy and build?
We currently have 2 big projects running. One is called Eden Park along Kangono Road. It's a project of around 58 plots. A plot is going for 1.2 million. That is for a bungalow. because again, we want to put in a bit of uniformity. So it's well divided into two portions. We have a portion for bungalows and there's a portion for maisonette. So I have an area for a bungalow going for 1.2 million and I have an area for maisonette going for 1.4 million. So it all depends on what is your budget and how much do you want.
So the plot is 1.2. If you want a bungalow, if you want a maisonette, is 1.4.
1.4 million.
And what's the cost of building the bungalow or the maisonette?
A bungalow cost of 1.5 million. So take the cost of the land at 1.2, a bungalow going for 1.5, that is 2.7. Nancy,
so
tell
I can
me,
own a house at 2.7
million. Call it affordability.
And how long does the process take?
Bungalow will take 4 months to build. And that's we have a service level agreement with our service providers. 4 months, 1.5 million, you have a house.
Now let's switch gears and talk about your agribusiness.
Agribusiness. Agribusiness was the second sense into land ownership. Given that I still want to own land within the urban area, driven by the growing population, it might be slightly further off the CBD. Talk about Isinya, talk about Kisaju, talk about further beyond Kitengela. We know with time, give it 4-5 years from now, Nairobi would have expanded to those limits. We know we cannot stop the population growth. It's here to stay. So we want you to buy land there, but the only mark timing concept for you to put value on the land right now is now the agri. Now I must clearly mention, we understand that agri has taken a different face in the market and probably the public opinion is being shaped otherwise. But I must mention this, Nancy. For as long as the population is growing, for as long as me and you need to eat each and every day within the city, then agri is here to stay. But it must be done in a well-structured manner. It is demanding and it needs a bit of discipline. Something that Diamond has been able to perfect over the past 2 years to the point of getting the recognition of top 100. And I can clearly tell you, I have over and above 5,000 proud investors with Diamond who did agree. They have gotten their first investment, they have gotten their second lot investment. We have new still coming in, and even as we walk along the way, we are not promising you that give us your money, we will do for you. No, we've gone a step further. We want you to participate. We want you to understand, if you're doing tomatoes, what goes into tomatoes? How does the market look like? What are the prevailing market conditions? So that tomorrow, if we realize the market isn't conducive for tomorrow, and you're also aware, we will sit down and also agree what is the next thing. So it's not what the market views like, you'll just give Diamond 250,000 for a land, then you give them 300,000 for a greenhouse, then go and wait for 300,000 every 6 months season. No, agri is different. And it's a high time, knowing very well that at this point in time in Kenya, we are not at that level you can say that we are food sufficient. We still have food shortage. We still have people suffering from hunger and starvation in our country. When I can play my role as Diamond, when you can play your role as Nancy, as busy as you are through being a food provider or providing food through being an urban farmer, then it's only good we do so. And we're glad to be playing our role as Diamond Properties.
One of the things that I have read, and one of the questions we've been asked, is the process of owning that plot. People are complaining that they pay for the plot ownership, title is not given at the given time, and the payment that they have been promised does not come at the stipulated timelines. What would you tell the viewer who is concerned about that?
Step number 1, we are selling you the plot, and you'll start by viewing it, not just pay for it because Nancy said so. You must go on the ground and view the plot. You also have a chance to even go further ahead and do your due diligence. Diamond purports to be selling this land. Are they the owners? And the documents are available. Only until that point when you're comfortable that I'm buying from Diamond and belongs to Diamond, go ahead and commit.
What's the payment plan?
We have one for a cash buyer with attractive prices. For Konza specifically, we are doing 700,000 for an eighth. For those who want 6-month installment, we'll give them at 750. That's an extra 50,000. You all know about the time value for money. For those who want a 12-month installment plan, we'll give them at an extra 100,000, which is 800,000. And you have a flexible payment for 12 months.
So I pay for the Konza plot for 800,000. What else should I pay? And at what point do I get my title? After I finish paying?
Upon finishing payment, we normally give at least 30 to 90 days, depending on the bulkiness or the size of the project. This is it. I want to promise you titles. I'll process them on your behalf. I have to interact with the registries. Sometimes, depending on different registries, we have timelines and everything else. So, and also people don't just buy land at once. So I'll wait. If Konza has 1,500 plots, I'll wait for the first bulk of 500 produced all together. That has taken me 2 months now. deliver. Then wait for the next lot of 500, because every time I go to the registry, there's a cost involved. And since I want to cut down on the cost of you owning the plot, I would have given you the title under the name Diamond to go and transfer on your own. But we used to do that before, but of course the feedback was, Edwin, I'm just a simple plot buyer. I don't know where the registry is. There's a lot of bureaucracy. Why can't you do it on my behalf? And that's why I'll take that period of probably 1 to 2 months upon you purchasing. I pull all of you together, at least 500, clear paying, clear documentation. I deliver the titles to you, something that we've done comfortably over the past years.
Okay, secondly, at what point do I pay for the greenhouse, and do you have a payment plan for the greenhouse?
Perfect. Now, as soon as you've completed your plot purchase, you can pay for the greenhouse immediately, even before getting the title. But this is the catch. I have 1,000 plots in Bethany Phase 4. I have 1,000 of you who've already bought land and paid for the greenhouses. And this is where the market goes wrong. You do not expect for your greenhouse to begin immediately, something that you modified over time. You will get a contract that is serialized, meaning for me to produce 1,000 greenhouses, even if I had all the resources, I cannot start all of them all at once. I'll be setting up the concept for failure. Remember, my buyer wants a staggered produce over a given period of time. So what I'll agree with my investors is, I'll have the first 200 of you. The optimum number to be done every month is 200. Despite the fact that 1,000 of you have paid all at once, you will get serialized contract, first off in different months. So I'll have in the month of January, I'll bring in 200 of you. The month of February, another 200, and it goes on until we finish the whole lot. Meaning, you would have paid for your greenhouse in January, but it will be done in May. Actually, yes, your contract,
at the time of contract, you tell me.
Payment, your contract is serialized and it's dated from the effective date. Meaning, if I'm paying today in January, but I belong to the third lot in March, my contract validity is as of March. Therefore, I do not have the room of complaining, or I paid for my greenhouse in January, but my yield has delayed. This is a gap that has been there. And as I said earlier on, these are some of the things we learned through Phase 1, Phase 2. And right now, the market perfectly understands probably one of the gaps that existed in the market.
Today, we know that plot ownership has major challenges. As Diamond, what's your promise to Kenyans?
Nancy, our promise to Kenya is we are that brand that you can trust. We are that brand that you can rely on. We give a promise, we will deliver that promise, and you can count to us on that.
I would recommend Diamond Property Merchants to my friends or to anybody who is interested to know, and I've actually done that. I have introduced them to my relatives, to my colleagues at work, and also to my chama, and they've actually invested in Diamond Property Merchants. The reason being they are a credible company, and also the services that I've received from them gives me that assurance that I'm dealing with credible people who keep their word. Secondly, there's constant updates from them on what's going on through the relationship management who's been allocated to me. Thirdly, I also found it very convenient when they introduced a provider who was to do the greenhouse, because I invested because I wanted to do agribusiness, not just to keep the land. Yes, and so far the experience has been good. I've received my payments, the first payment for my greenhouse, and I'm expected another payment this month.
An investment in the property world is life insurance. Owning a piece of land is a fallback plan, a buffer for that rainy day. Call or visit our offices and we'll help you secure your future. Next, let's hear from a legal expert why it's important to work with a professional when buying land.
When it comes to property, it's not always a direct purchase. You purchase a movable asset. Property involves what we call due diligence, and due diligence is quite a lengthy process. It's not a walk into the land's office and procuring a search and leaving. But ideally, most people go to the lands office. You get a search, that is the first step. You get a complete copy of the title. You verify the details. You go to the lands office, get a search. You see whether there are any encumbrances, caution, restrictions. If there are none at all, at that point, or rather simultaneously, be procuring a copy of the survey map from the survey office, and also verifying the details of the registered owner from the register of persons. When you apply for a search and a search is out, from the face of it, there are several things you must look out for. There's the area of the property, there's a number, if it's a leasehold, the term, the registered owner, if there's a caution or a caveat, it's indicated there. If there's an encumbrance, it's also indicated there. A search also should be sealed. From the lands office, should be signed and sealed. So some of these things a lawyer look out for when you're doing a search. When you engage a lawyer, it becomes a relationship, advocate-client relationship, and the lawyer owes that duty to you. Should the lawyer be negligent, there is always a recourse to the affected party. I would advise any person purchasing property to involve professionals. If at all you're purchasing a plot that needs to be subdivided, get a licensed surveyor to do it, get a lawyer to do it, because prudence and diligence is something that might prove to be very expensive if done by quacks. You might pay your money and get no value at the end of the day. But when you involve professionals, they will advise you at each stage of the transaction that this property is charged to this bank before we even pay the deposits. Let us have their commitment that they will get a discharge of that charge. This spouse has cautioned the property. Before we even proceed, we need first to sit down with the spouse and agree or she's willing to sell the property. These are things that need professionals. So when you're purchasing a property, involve professionals. It might be a little bit expensive, but it's worthwhile.
Are you an expert in the real estate sector? We'd be delighted to host you for an in-depth conversation on your expertise. Just drop us an email. We are taking a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with much, much more.
Chat for free, share for free, call for free. Dial *544# and enjoy free WhatsApp. Telecom, moving with you.
Welcome back. Next, the accessory spots.
The beauty of a home begins from outside. Today we highlight awesome fencing ideas that you can modify to work well for a bare plot to transform it into a lavishly picket fenced home. One, understand the size of your plot. This way, you're able to estimate the cost of fencing and gating. 2. Material. This is dependent on one's financial status and personal preference. Concrete wall is permanent but very costly. The market also offers varied options including steel, corrugated metal, wood, barbed wire, concrete walls and plants for nature lovers. The corrugated metal fence has an industrial or agricultural vibe. It is a budget-conscious choice and can be constructed by homeowners who have moderate to high construction skills. Wood requires a touch of oil to protect the fence from rotting, and a little paint goes a long way in adding beauty and life to your outdoors. Plant fencing, on the other hand, not only creates a beautiful landscape, but also plays a major role in breaking wind, trapping dust, and providing fresh air, especially in the suburbs. Choose your plants wisely, ensuring they form a thick hedge, and make sure to start planting early as soon as you buy the plot. You may go for the flowery type or thorny plants.
A beautiful home will most certainly call for hard work, maintenance, and of course, the right partner. We work with all professionals in the industry and can connect you to the right experts. Just call on us or plug in on our social media platform. Next, Telecom, the sleeping giant, has woken up. Let's hear where they are taking Kenyans.
Telecom Kenya has a long history in the country, but it's fair to say it has great assets. It has both mobile and fixed networks, both national and international backbone infrastructure, a wide variety of clients, fixed customers, mobile customers, small and medium enterprises, big corporates, local and international carriers, and government entities. It also has a skillful and experienced workforce. Nevertheless, it's fair to say that Telecom Kenya had not achieved its full potential. We were the sleeping giant. But in the last 12 months, we have worked really hard to turn around the business, make it more efficient, and prepare it for the future. Today, the giant is awake. To accomplish this, we have launched a transformation program focused on 5 key pillars. First, culture and brand. A year ago, when I first walked in, I found a company which had gone through a long and agonizing sales process. Employees had lost their fighting spirit. There was no sense of ownership, no sense of empowerment at the individual level. We have worked endlessly to reinvigorate the spirit and to transform the company culture. We have adopted new values: integrity, customer centricity, innovation, teamwork, empowerment. We incorporated a new mission to provide the best value for a simpler life, efficient business, and stronger communities. A new vision, connecting the people that make Kenya move. We also reorganized the business units into 3: mobile, enterprise, carrier services, and mobile financial services, to make us focused, accountable, and responsible. Finally, we strengthened our management team with people with a strong track record across the telco industry in Kenya and internationally. Today, we are all proud to be part of Telecom Kenya and are all excited to embark on this new journey.
So it gives me great pleasure to join you this afternoon on this auspicious occasion as Telecom Kenya Limited opens a new chapter that signifies a transformational phase of its journey. I do hope that the new Telecom will represent a step change in all aspects of the business to the delight of all stakeholders, starting with the customers. It is gratifying to note that the new leadership of Telecom has so far lived up to the promise to deliver as per the key milestones which was shared with the government of Kenya as one of the two shareholders in the company. Indeed, the relaunch of the Telecom brand is one of the milestones. Telecom has over the years played its part in the Kenya's socio-economic development and continues to do so as an important operator in the telecommunication sector. For instance, the government through the Ministry of ICT and the National Constituency Development Fund has partnered with Telecom to realize the installation of 1,160 constituency incubation hubs in all 290 constituencies across the country. In addition, the launch of the Huduma centers throughout the country in partnership with Telecom has ensured that these one-stop shop citizen service centers continue to enhance efficiency and easy access to government services for all.
Our signature bus tour is here with us. The clock is ticking, and the good news is we will be visiting exciting routes proving to be the cradle of real estate developments from Mombasa to Namanga Road and Kiambu to Thika Road. Remember, the #1 rule in the property world is just start. Make this your starting step. Just call us and register today. This month is packed with more goodies. The Up Market Expo is also around the corner. This expo is open for developers, investors, industry experts, interior designers, as well as service providers. This is an opportunity for you to expand your reach. Book your stand today. It's that time for another inspiring home ownership journey. Karibu sana on the show, Monica.
Thank you, Nancy.
And who is Monica?
I am married to one wonderful husband, my best friend. And I am a Christian. I am passionate for Christ and I'm passionate for people. I am also a corporate governance expert, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, a certified public secretary, and a businesswoman.
Wow.
Yes.
At what point did you know that this is the time to buy my home?
Well, my husband and I had been planning for a while. My husband is very organized. He's the finance guy in the home. I am the spender. My work is to see visions and to spend. So earlier on in our relationship, even before we got married, we had set up a plan on, how we are going to progress. And someone told us you should have a married plan. So we had planned to have a home. That is back in 2010, 2011. We got married in 2011. Once we finished with the wedding, We had a vehicle for myself, for my husband. We then now embarked on saving for the home. So we saved, and we knew this year is the year we were going to buy our home. We thought it would be at the end of the year or early next year. However, one of the evenings, because we were planning for a home, we used to watch the property show a lot. Almost every Sunday we were glued to the TV, you know, browsing through the properties that you're selling, looking at the price. And as our savings went up, we started to get excited because we could see homes that were cheaper
and you could
than
afford
the money that we could afford. And then we moved from we could afford the ones in Kitengela to drawing nearer to the city, and we realized we now can afford apartments in Nairobi, and we knew our dream is about, you know, it's coming true. So one time we saw a segment on Roslyn Gardens. We were interested, they looked very beautiful. Of course we couldn't afford then, but they looked beautiful and we wanted to see so that we can steal ideas for our house when we finish our home. So I wrote an email. Took a while to receive a response, and I received a response and they quoted the sum, and we were like, oh, we'll just go and see. So we never got to see. A couple of months later, I received a call from Jumuia. They again through property show, and they told me come and see. So they thought they knew I was going to see Rosewood. I knew I was going to see Rose Lane. I go to their offices, they link me up with the developer, I go to their offices, and I realize, oh, it's Rosewood. Oh, okay, well,
let me just have a look.
Yes. So I went to their offices, looked at the brochure. It looked interesting enough, and the houses looked nice. So I told them, well, let's go to the ground. So I went and saw the house, and I knew this is it. I was actually on sick leave. That is 2-3 months ago, and I looked at it. It had everything I wanted, all the essentials I wanted: a playground, you know, a safe environment near all the amenities, school, shopping, no traffic area, security wise. It had everything that we were looking for. I initially wanted a bungalow. My husband wanted an apartment because, I mean, bungalows are expensive and hard to find, but because we wanted somewhere near a school or schools we knew we wanted, we had planned. My husband, as I said, is a very organized fella. So we knew, right now, we are yet to have children, but we knew and we have planned where we're going to take them to school. So we rented a home within that area. And that house is literally 5 minutes walk to the possible kindergarten and 10 minutes drive to the possible school, if not less. So I took the brochure and went home with it. In the evening, my husband comes home and I tell him, I think I have found the house. He doesn't take me seriously. He tells me, you know, I'm tired, I'll look at it tomorrow. The next day I went back and I took the reservation letter. I told him, give me the reservation letter. And I called my husband, and my best friend, she works for CBA. She's a relationship manager, so I told her, you come. Because I know you have seen a lot of these properties. I also was working in the bank, but legal, so we don't interact a lot with the properties.
You interact on paper?
On paper. So she comes and she tells me the structure really, compared to what I have seen, the structure is really good. The quality is A1. The space is huge. I think this is a deal. I told my husband, boss, you need to come to this location. So he comes. He gets in, goes through the lounge, the dining area, the kitchen, the bedroom, and is like, this is it.
This is it. Wow.
So the next day, I signed the reservation letter. And shortly thereafter, in fact, I signed the sale agreement while in hospital. And we paid while I was in hospital. We did the transfers, and we, by the grace of God, and this is why I'm passionate about Christ, because the reason why I accepted to come to this show is not necessarily to talk about, oh, we have this big house and this nice house. It is to tell people
it is possible
that when you set your eyes on a dream, as big as it may sound and look sometimes impossible to people around you, but you present it to Christ and you trust him and you continue being faithful, he gets you there.
Amen.
And for me, God got us there.
Amen.
Yes. So we were able to purchase the house cash.
Wow.
Because the Lord is faithful. We are not rich. We are normal people. My husband is a lawyer like me. People think lawyers have a lot of money, perception. We are good at, that's why we call our profession noble. We are good at making you believe what we want you to believe. So we make people believe that we are very wealthy. However, it may not be the case. So for us, we started, the first salary I earned in a law firm was 3,000 bob, to 6,000 bob, to 10,000 bob, to 29,500, to 50,000.
You've grown step by
so
step.
So it has been gradual.
Yes.
The same for my husband. He's a very hardworking fella, yes, but there was no shortcut. And so we saved. I remember at some point, the shoes, water was seeping through shoes. You know,
home ownership is a sacrifice.
It is a
you
sacrifice.
have to sacrifice.
It is a journey, and you must be focused.
Yes.
If you have no focus, then you have no idea where you're going. So you must know what you want to achieve. You must come up with a figure. You must figure out what environment, where you want your home to be. Shop around, know what the market value is. Place a figure on it, then work backwards. What can I save there?
Asante sana.
Thank you.
This conversation continues next week. Next, the property gallery with ideal investment options available in the market.
Integral parts of the Crystal Rivers experience is realizing your home ownership dream right at the edge of the city. Here you choose between 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses or the well-designed 3-bedroom apartments. Crystal Rivers give you the luxury of living close to all amenities in a far from ordinary location. Accommodation for 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses includes private garden, spacious lounge area, kitchen opens to the dining area, all bedrooms are ensuite with walk-in shower, working spaces, DSQ accessible from outside, and master ensuite with 2 wardrobes and bathtub. Salient features include stone wall topped with electric and razor wire, CCTV cameras, common gate, carport for 2 cars, independent access to the mall, swimming pool, gym, jogging track, backup generator for common areas, solar water heating, well-manicured gardens, biodigester, and riverfront views.
Shaba Village is a comprehensive gated housing development comprising of 20 units of 3-bedroom maisonets each with 7 squatter. The development also has 4 blocks of apartments comprising of 2 and 3-bedroom units. The development is suitable for homeowners who wish to secure a peaceful home environment, as well as investors who wish to invest in real estate with good rental income. Shaba Village, your perfect modern family home, ingeniously integrated with nature. Accommodation includes spacious lounge with a dining area, fitted American-style open-plan kitchen and utility area, Dobby area, large windows, mahogany doors, wrought iron curtain rods, gypsum ceiling with cornices, high ceilings, high-quality finishes, master bedroom ensuite with a balcony, 2 cozy bedrooms with a shared washroom, and visitors' cloakroom. Salient features include quality sanitary fittings, landscaped gardens, ample cobble-paved driveway and parking for 2, perimeter wall with electric fence, children playground, street lighting, underground and high-level water tanks, backup generator, and borehole water. The price guide for the 3-bedroom maisonette is 12.25 million Kenya shillings. For the apartments, the price guide for the 2-bedroom apartments ranges from 6.8 to 7 million Kenya shillings. The price guide for the 3-bedroom apartments range from 7.8 to 8 million Kenya shillings.
When venturing into the real estate market, either as an investor or a home buyer, you need the right partners. Here at First Avenue, we hold your hand every step of the way. We've come to the end of today's show. Thank you for watching. Buying a plot can be a daunting task. Make this process hassle-free by working with professionals to ensure your investment is safeguarded. Let's do this again next week, same time, same place. As always, there is something for everyone. Kwaheri!